helping the presidents in this field. They also evaluate cases from other jurisdictions, example Ghana, Nigeria, and Uganda, and offer a comparative analysis of best practices in these countries. Publishing this masterpiece publication, Mr. Barrow is exercising two rights in the Gambian Constitution. The first right is section 25(1)A, which talks about freedom of speech and expression, and the second right is section 25(1)B, which says, and I quote in extenso, every person shall have the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and belief, which shall include academic freedom. The 33-year-old author scripted a 21-chapter book dissecting public prosecution processes, protection of the citizen from crime, and paving the way for young police prosecutors. His knack to share his 15 years experience in prosecution is continually validated by the police high command as a tool to avert miscarriage of justice at the law courts.
We want to have a police force that is one in this region, and one of the best also in the whole world. Barrow's publication will remain here, and it will serve as a reference material, not only for the present generation, for police officers to come.
The Constitution, for some reason, was not upheld. But I'm very proud to say that these days I am confident to walk into any police station and the Constitution is upheld. And I cannot express how that makes a lawyer or any citizen feel.
The Fula Bantang Bond returned gratitude to Fuladu publishers for archiving his work and the late Police Commissioner of Administration, Jetta Balde, for his guidance. The author was surprised with a rapid promotion from the ranks of a chief inspector to assistant superintendent police officer.
I was told was reserved for my late father, Jetta Balde, a brother to the author. As we draw close to what I am sure you all agree with me to be a very informative and historic morning. Getting to this point of the book launch, it is noteworthy to mention that it wouldn't have been possible without the commitment, collaboration, cooperation, and goodwill of numerous individuals and organizations.
Babukar Kamara, GRTS.
That story by Babukar Kamara takes us to our first break, but we'll be back with news from outside the Gambia. Stay tuned.
Gambia, Damane, Benchum Reume Ote, the Gambia Radio and Television Services, GRTS. GRTS Staff Association, Italy. His Excellency the President, Chair Professor Al-Haji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jame, no fast Kene Sumbu, Jingadum Banquet Dinner, a grand dance with a difference. Bufikeja Amsufi Muse Amsach, on the 23rd of May, and on the 24th of May 2014, Setiki Penchami Hall, featuring the now happening Queen of Malaka, Titi Safnepa, Titi, Tamane Titi, Pare Rajake Penchami Hall. You've never seen her on stage like this before. Titi, by popular demand. Nipari Joy Mostoli, Anak Aindanan artist Fiji Reumi. Tickets, Gala, Platinum, $60,000. Diamond, $50,000. Gold, $40,000, and the individual $1,000. Grand dance ticket, $500 and $300 flat. For all reservations, please call 991-1992-365-551-8-203-1850-682-9536. Sunureu, Gambia.
Welcome back. Malian President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita has warned members of the MNLA that no group will hold the country hostage. President Keita was speaking in a televised address shortly after news of renewed violence in Kidal in northern Mali. The disturbance occurred during a visit to the area by Malian Prime Minister Moussa Mara. We have details of that story in this report.
Calm reigns in Kidal, not 4 days after the violence during the visit by Prime Minister Moussa Mara to the MNLA Tuareg stronghold. The president of Mali was talking tough on television. I swear to you, these vile actions will be punished. These can be qualified as crimes against humanity. Nobody will hold Mali hostage. President Keita praised the courage of his prime minister. Both men criticized the common front of MNLA fighters and radical jihadi groups such as Akim, Ansardin, and Mujao that have filtered back into northern Mali. But the president remains open to talks with the armed movements there. We are heading for talks. We are convinced that only this can save us. It can save us if all the concerned parties, the Malian government, the international community, and the armed groups keep their promises. Continuing any dialogue between the Malian government and the armed groups in the north is also the position of the Integrated United Nations Mission for Stabilization in Mali. The UN mission confirmed on Monday night that some 30 Malian government workers taken hostage by MNLA rebels had been released. However, the lack of action by the UN mission during the fighting in Kidal continues to worry President Keita.
Libyan special forces have moved to clear the capital after a section of a regular army went on the rampage in Tripoli. Security forces have been struggling to control a recent upheaval that began in Benghazi. A number of foreign embassies have begun evacuating their staff from the capital. We have details in this report.
Months of political crisis in Libya threatened to turn into civil war. This neighborhood was partially destroyed by Colonel Wanis Bukhamada's forces following an attack against parliament. General Bukhamada's forces backed the Libyan National Army and General Haftar, who vows to drive out Islamist militias that the renegade military claim have taken over the country.
We, as members of the Special Forces, declare that any attack on the nation or the people will be crushed. We will defend the will of the people with our troops and with our weapons, the battle for dignity that is being led by the National Army.
This is a blow to the regular army that is struggling unsuccessfully to restore order and stability.
The so-called National Army does not exist. It is not legitimate. It runs contrary to all military laws. No one can declare himself chief of the army and divide that military institution.
Libya is divided and in a state of chaos. Saudi Arabia and Algeria have closed their embassies and evacuated their personnel.
Thailand's powerful military has imposed martial law in the country. This development comes amid increased political uncertainty in the country. Thailand has been gripped by inter-party clashes since the last coup in 2006. The army has assured the public that law and order would be maintained. We have details in this report.
Declared martial law on Tuesday in a surprise move it said was aimed at keeping the country stable after months of political unrest. The move effectively places the army in charge of public security, but it denied that a coup was underway.
The Royal Army intends to bring back peace and order to the beloved country of every as possible. Up their movement in order to enter quickly the process to solve the country's problems. We are asking the general public not to panic and to carry on their duties and work normally.
Troops were deployed in central Bangkok, mostly near hotels and television stations, as well as on the outskirts of the capital, near the camps of government supporters known as Red Shirts. Thailand has experienced 18 coups since 1932, some of them not successful. The last one in 2006 ousted Thaksin Shinawatra, a business tycoon turned politician who is currently living in exile. He remains the hero of the Red Shirts, mainly rural populations from the north and northeast.
If General Prayut Chan-o-cha does more than implement martial law, such as staging a military coup, or if he intends to go against the Constitution and not act according to it, the Red Shirts have no choice but to fight until the end, because this is a democracy group. We have a duty to maintain democracy.
Meanwhile, anti-government protesters seeking to overthrow the government appeared to welcome the announcement of martial law. Earlier this month, they achieved a first